Hello, everyone. My name is Richard Lewis Brown, and today is July 3rd, 2021, and it's the 4th of July. Oh, no, wait a minute. Let me get it right. Today is not the 4th of July. It's tomorrow, so please don't hit comments about, Richard, you had your days wrong. I know. So, I'm Richard Lewis Brown. Today's July 3rd, 2021, 4th of July weekend, and hopefully everyone is doing great. I'm excited. I'll be going up to the Folsom State Prison here shortly to meet some state employees represented by the prison. And I may even cross over to the old state prison, Folsom, as well. So I want to start by saying this. I've been asked to, quote, choose my words wisely. And I've been asked to get my rest, drink water, eat the proper food, and don't stress out. I've been asked to do that. Well, I'm getting my rest. I'm eating the proper food. And I'm not stressed out. Look at me. I am not stressed out. See that? I'm not stressed out. Okay. So a lot of people are asking, how did the first week go? The first week go as the working for Local 1000. And I would say that it was very interesting. I was really excited of going on full-time union leave and coming over on June 30th and meeting Margarita and building alliances with her. But unfortunately, when I showed up, I found out a few hours later that she was no longer with the union. So that's really unfortunate because I really wanted to work with her. I know she was a holdover from Yvonne Walker's leadership. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. But that's okay. We continue on. I had a great week. I had a chance to meet the staff. You know, I have to say this. Yvonne Walker told me that the staff was incredible. Yvonne Walker was absolutely 1,000% right. The staff, oh boy, the staff has been incredible. And in my mind, in my heart, I feel the staff has been disrespected, undervalued, and overworked for how many years? Who knows? And oftentimes our represented employees of Local 1000, they say the staff's no good and they're not working hard and they don't care. That is an absolute lie. They do care and they do work hard. In fact, when I'm told that the Local 1000 staff, that they're lazy and they're unintelligent and they don't care, you know, that's funny they say that because that's how the media feels about us as state employees of the 12, hear my number, 12, 4 times 3 is 12, the 12 public sector unions in the state of California. But we know that is not true. And the staff here at Local 1000, they bust their ass. Okay. So someone made a comment, Richard, you let those people go on Friday at 11 o'clock? Yeah, sure did. In fact, if I had been more intelligent about it, they would have had the whole day off. And so I failed to give them the whole day off. I'm sorry. I guarantee you on Labor Day, they'll have that Friday off before. So if you're calling a union on the Friday before Labor Day and you can't reach anybody, don't say Richard didn't tell you ahead of time. See, you have to show people that you care and that you love them and you appreciate them. And on holidays, you want people to be with their families. And I'm sincere when I say that. So with that being said, about choose my words wisely, I'm going to hopefully have someone come on with me here shortly. And his name is Kevin Menninger. Now, I don't know if anybody realizes this. Kevin Menninger has a vast amount of knowledge. And he's running for VP of bargaining. And as you know, we're having a new election. The ballots went out yesterday, July 2nd, and they have to be returned by August 2nd. So we have Kevin Menninger, who's been so nice enough on the holiday weekend. He's taken time to come on to talk to me. And hopefully, you know, we don't have to, quote, talk in the shop or, you know, talk in the office. We can do it right here in a live video, and you can see how sincere and how much he wants to help our union. And so I'm really excited about that. And hopefully I'll get a chance to speak to Irene Green, who won the first election for VP of Bargaining. And it's unfortunate that she has to run again. And I'll get a chance to speak to Kim Colbert and Ramona Kramer. And God, there's somebody else that's running. Oh man. I said Kevin, Irene Green, Kim Colbert, his name's Ramona Kramer. Robert Bays. Yeah, he's running as well. So I haven't seen Kevin send me the message yet. All right, so I'll keep talking here because I'm really interested to hear what Kevin has to say about how he's going to be able to work with me and Annika Walls. She's been reelected for organizing and representation. It appears that Annika is invincible. And also David Jimenez, Secretary Treasurer down in LA. And I'm really excited to work with him. He's really enthused about doing a forensic audit. And so once we have the VP of Bargaining, we'll have our 4. Yeah, we'll have our 4. And the number 4 is a powerful number. And it carries a lot of weight to the 4 corners of the earth. We speak with power and authority. Okay. Oh, and here's the other thing about people being worried about the union and this upcoming board of directors meeting. I realize that next Tuesday at 6 p.m., this emergency board meeting to help the people, those good people in Lansing County, them state employees that's going to have their lives basically destroyed because of the prison closure next year on July 1st, 2022. I want those people to know I have got their back, I am sincere, and I'm going to do everything I can to get $2 million set aside for them for food and housing, child care. Because, a few weeks ago, we had an emergency board meeting, and the board decided that we needed to give $1 million through this, the SEIU State Council to help this governor in this fight against the recall. And they thought that was the right thing to do. And they were sincere, and they all showed up, and they issued their votes. And even though my number 3, 7437, my number 3, win squared, tells you the amount of votes that said no, 9, the will of the board was done. And so that was done. And there's no need to criticize it. No. No need to get mad. We can maintain our professionalism and our composure. That was done then. But now, we're in a new day. As of June 30th, 2021. Sure, we're in a new day. A new beginning. And sometimes when you do a new beginning, as I often say, change ain't enough. No. In fact, I was speaking to Annika Walls about this job steward program. She's not changing that thing, that LAPS program. She's going to create something way different, way better. And so we're in a day where we create things. And therefore, in order to create a culture of excellence, we must first show our people. Oh, praise God. We must show our people that we care about them. And this is why we're having this emergency board meeting for the people in Lansing County, the state employees represented by Local 1000. And what we're really doing, we're also sending a message to the other union, the CCPOA. They're taking care of their people. Well, hey, that's what a public sector labor union does. They take care of their own. And so we're doing the same thing. It's not a big deal. And even though I know some people are saying that, oh, Richard, there's not going to be a board meeting. You won't have a quorum to do business. You won't. I think the number is 25. I need 25 people out of that 65 to have a quorum. That's what I'm being told. I'm sure they're telling me the truth. I'm sure they're telling me the truth. But this is not a big deal. And I have confidence in the board that they're going to do it. I mean, they helped SEIU State Council, to help, directly or indirectly, to help, the governor fight this recall. They actually took an official stance. Local 1000, we're against the recall. Sure. So next Tuesday night at 6 p.m., and everyone's going to be able to see this. And this is the great thing. This is the first time in Local 1000 history where you're going to be able to watch the board. And it's going to be really exciting. And then the second part of the board, I see you, Kevin. Give me 1 second. And the second part is the union leave for the statewide officers, for the VPs. The board has to approve full-time union leave. And I'm sure they're going to do it. I mean, why wouldn't they not do it? What would be their excuse to not give the 3 vice presidents who were voted in by the will of the people? Why would they not give them that full-time union leave? I don't understand why. I really don't know. Okay, in fact, now that Kevin's coming on with us, maybe he can tell us why. I'm sure he has a lot to say. So let's go to Kevin. Here we go. Let's bring him on. Approve. Hi, Kevin. All right, so it's approving here in a second here. We're adding Kevin Manager. Okay, give us a second here, because we are live.
Okay.
Hi, Kevin.
Hey there, Richard.
How are you?
Issues. Oh, fine. I apologize for the issues I had. Apparently, I have to have my phone oriented a certain way for it to work on Facebook Live. Okay.
Okay.
So here we are.
So I'll make this quick and I'll let you take over. You're the first person that's having a conversation, because I know sometimes debate and, that sounds scary to people. So I know there's a few people running for VP of bargaining, and you're the first person that I'm talking to. I'm really excited. And even though I don't have, a fancy office for you to come to, I don't have a shop or gymnasium or whatever, I want to thank you so much for coming on. So why do you feel like you're the best person that can, quote, in my opinion, serve to represent employees as well as work with me?
Well, God, that's a big question. But some of the things that contribute to the answer to that is, one, I have, some 13 years or more experience in bargaining. I started in the union when I started my stewardship, my career. I started basically as a DBER and was made it up to alternate vice chair. I was on the bunk for Unit 1. I was an officer on the bunk for Unit 1. I had negotiated the first time we had an IT reclass. This was back in 2000, I'm gonna say 2007, because we got interrupted by the recession. I've been on some JMLCs. I understand bargaining. I know this contract. Now, I just finished a term as Vice President, Secretary, Treasurer. So why would someone with all that bargaining experience go into Secretary, Treasurer? It comes down to this. I have a mind that likes wonkiness, that likes legalistic, understanding contract language, understanding data. And from that, you can draw a conclusion. The data informs you what kind of language you should have in your contract. Although that's not the only thing that wins the day with a contract. It's really leverage in the field, because if we have all the facts and the state still says no, what are we going to have left except the leverage of people in the field? And that takes some leadership to know that they know you have their back, so that we can have their back at the table. So why me? Well, we have the experience. We have the mind that tends towards contract negotiations, and also I came to a union, become a unionist, a labor activist, simply because it was the right thing to do. When people ask me why did I get involved with that, for some reason, I always flash back on this memory I have of my older brother getting beat up on the side of the parking lot side of St. Philomene's school. He was like 4 years ahead of me, so he was getting beat up by sixth graders. I must have been first or second grade, and just the people standing around. I could not stand someone getting picked on and beat up like that, and so the only place where we can have any sort of power is when we come together, and that's what unions do. Originally, of course, with the trades and fighting. Fighting with corporates, and we know our history. We are on the shoulders of giants as labor activists. People fought and actually died for the rights that we have. 8 hours, 8 hours, and 8 hours, weekends, and all the people died for that. So we have to humbly take on that mantle and move that further. So what's important is that recognize that all work is important. All work is noble. I'm an IT specialist. Some people would call me a developer. Um, but I have I've been a custodian. I've worked in some lower paying jobs. I understand what it is to work, and I believe all these jobs are important. Um, so what makes me the best? Experience, understanding, empathy, and recognizing that the job of VP of bargaining is more than just bargaining. It's also a sort of project manager. Generally, we go to the table, master contract table, and it's going to be 9 bargaining units. Yes, we represent 10, the state bar. I'm not sure how they're going to be figuring what their bargaining season is. Let's talk about the 9 bargaining units we normally do. Units 1, 3, 4, 11, 14, 15, 17, and 20 and 21. Unit 1 alone is more than half of the people we represent. Unit 1 is about 54,000 people are in Unit 1. We represent just above or just over 100,000. So that's a big monster right there. Then we have these Unit 4 and Unit 15. I want to call them out especially because they're the ones, though they're generally lower paid than Unit 1 people, they're the ones that actually show up to rallies. They're the ones that show up to demonstrations. They're the ones that put themselves out there. And I have such great respect for that and gratitude for them. They're an example we all should follow. My point is that the spectrum of work that we represent, from IT to custodial to in the medical profession, we have registered nurses, to people testing the levee strengths, the soil compaction. We cover so much that it's all wonderful. And what's difficult that puts us behind the 8 ball when we're bargaining is that when we all do our jobs really well, we are invisible to the citizens of California because everything works. You turn on your tap, you get clean water. Drive down the road and bridges don't collapse on you. File your taxes and you get your return, get your refund in much quicker than it used to be. Things work, and that makes us invisible. How often do we think about the air that we breathe, the water we drink, and where that came from? So we have to then instill that value that of making everything work, that infrastructural work, and put that into the sense of the people of California. Now, why do we need to appeal to the people of California? Because when we reach beyond just ourselves, we become that much more stronger. There's a saying in labor that to get something done, you rely on the eds and the meds. Eds are teachers, education. Meds are medical professionals, nurses primarily. And if you look back just over the last couple of years, you can see how teachers and nurses have stood up for themselves and have won great victories at the bargaining table by doing so. And it was tough. Teachers had to go on strike in several cities, and it was tough, but they fought and they moved their agenda forward. They got good contracts. Teachers we have that we represent are prison teachers. And while they do great work, important work, general Californians, they don't want to think about prisoners. But we also have nurses in the prisons, nurses in state hospitals, nurses that take care of our veterans, and nurse evaluators that go and inspect all these medical facilities to make sure they're up to snuff so that when ourselves, our loved ones, our sons and daughters, our parents and grandparents are going into a hospital or a convalescent home, or, if the time comes, even hospice, that everyone is being cared for up to the best of the facility's ability, that the machines are properly monitored and maintained, that the staffing ratios are right to make sure patients get the care. Our people do this. Our people make sure that the citizens of California have safe hospitals and safe medical professionals tending to them. And I don't think that's really recognized on the intrinsic work that we do. And that needs to come out to get that support from the communities, to get the pressure on the legislature and the governor to bargain with us in good faith and give us what we're worth.
And so, Kevin, I heard you say about the strike fund.
Mhm.
how important do you think the strike fund is needed for Local 1000?
That's like asking how important is a bow if you don't have any arrows. A strike fund, a union's ability to, I'm not going to say strike, to inconvenience the employer by the means that are necessary. We inconvenience them, and that's how we have influence. A strike is the ultimate inconvenience, but it has to be, the threat has to be there, and it has to be real. And that's what a strike fund would do. It says that, yeah, if it comes to it, we can take our people out and we can take care of them. You can't go that long. The state couldn't go 2 days without its workforce there. So we could, if we can keep people going for that long, that's a doable thing. Thing is, we represent 100,000 people. And so keeping them going along, that's going to take a bit of money. I don't think you have it in your back pocket there, Richard, but it's going to take us a while to accumulate this money, and that should be our goal. And I haven't run the numbers on how long it would take to get that. It depends on how you fund it, but we may not have it by the next contract, because we're talking a sum of money. But we can't be thinking about just this quarter, just this year, just the next year. We got to be thinking long term, because this union and what we build here is a foundation for the future as well as for our people now.
Well, I would certainly agree with that. And here's a question I've always wanted to ask you.
Okay.
We know there's other candidates in the field running. And if you decided, well, I don't want to run, of the remaining candidates, which candidate would you say, this is the person I can get behind and fully support if I wasn't running for VP of bargaining? Or is there somebody that's not in the field that you would say should be in the field?
Oh, I know of a couple of people who would be excellent that are not in the field for various reasons. But let me suggest this, that what you're asking me is, for a second choice, you're leading me right into one of my favorite topics of ranked choice voting. They just did this in New York City, by the way.
Okay.
Because if you couldn't choose me, who would be, if I came in last place, who would be the next one who would be your second choice? And you're demonstrating the value it is, because when we come down to, especially when we have multi-candidates running in a race, and you want to pick the one that you really like, but you think he or she, well, no one's ever heard of them, so maybe I shouldn't vote for them. Well, ranked choice voting would give you the chance to vote for who you really want to. And then your backup could be, well, if I don't get this person, I guess this other person would be so bad. I can like them too. So why would we do that? Because when you have more than two people running, then you could have somebody win with a plurality. Well, that's frankly how all the officers won. Nobody got a 50% plus one majority. Everyone won with a plurality. More votes than anyone else, but it means more people voted for somebody else. With ranked choice voting, you'd be either the first choice, second, or third. 50% of the people voting said, yeah, you're my number one, or my number two, or maybe my number three. And so you have that support out of a larger field. So you already enter into office with more of a mandate and a better representation of the voters' voices.
So here's another question I would like to ask you. Do you feel confident that the election process is a good process? Because we heard people say, well, we don't know if we trust this process or not, even though this has been a process for many, many years. And so, when an outsider comes and wins, then you hear all the questions about, see, we told you the process wasn't any good. So after this election is done, and let's suppose you win.
Okay. And stop right there. That's good.
This is live, people. None of these questions I'm asking, this is all live. And believe me, I didn't know that question I just asked him would lead into that ranked choice voting. I can guarantee you, because he knows that I'm against that. So this is a live video. So if after this election is over and you win, and someone else says, I don't trust this process, would you, would you say, well, listen, we have to respect the will of the voters, or would you want to see the protests, or would you just say, well, let the protest committee see it and then let them make their decision? How would you feel about that?
Okay. Now this one is a little embarrassing because I'm here because of a protest I filed. Um,
Okay.
but understand what was I protesting was not people, not the character of
Mm,
anybody that was running, but the
right.
process and the way it was done. They got a couple of names on the ballot that shouldn't have been there, and it turns out those names got enough votes that had they gone to someone else, it could have changed the ultimate outcome. I'm not saying it would have, and I'm
Mhm.
not saying that I have a qualm with any of the candidates. What I'm saying is that it could have affected that, and so we have to do it over just to be sure. And it may turn out with the same front runner as before. The order could just be the same. Who knows? But we need to have it done fairly out in the open. But if someone was to come to me after I win this election and say, we think something's wrong, well, first, do you have evidence, observable, objective evidence that something happened? And if you don't, well, I understand your qualm because I've had qualms with our election process for a long time. Would you want to join on the election reform committee? We need to look at how we can do this better because the people we hire, the firm, we have two contractors that we hire, one to do the mailing, the design of the ballot and the mailing of it, and there's a separate team, separate firm that does the actual tabulation. Well, those companies both depend upon their accuracy and being their integrity. That's basically part of their brand, what they have to sell. They wouldn't put that into jeopardy. So why should we even
Mhm.
question the elections? They're not going to risk it, are they? And we get our information straight from the state controller. So how could it be messed up? And yet there are hundreds and hundreds of ballots sent to the wrong address. How could that be? The weak point in the chain, in this chain of information, is when the union gives the information to the vendor for the mailing. So we need a way of validating. So I'm in data processing, so I understand about cross-checking, doing checksums, and validating packets of information as it goes back and forth. Same thing with our names that we give out, because it's been my paranoid theory, I'm not saying this is what happened, it's been my paranoid theory that it's easy to identify who's going to vote for, let's say, Kevin. We don't want them voting for Kevin because they've always been a friend of Kevin's. So what if I change these numbers around in their street address when I send it over to the vendor? They mail the ballot to the wrong address. Because we had last election and the one before that, we contacted people who never received their ballots. So
Mhm.
I do have some concerns about our election process. Is it just we have a lot of bad addresses? Is it because we're shipping bad addresses? Is something interrupting that between the controller and us and the vendor? And that needs to be a bit more clear process. It's a chain of evidence situation. So that would be my concern. That is what I would like an election review committee to be looking at and have a report to the board of directors so we can find out if there's anything we need to do to fix this.
All right. And so, and I agree. I agree with that. I really do. Um, Now, as new president, and you don't hear me say that very often,
Mhm.
have you and the other candidates talked about, you know, we all agree that we want a good, clean, fair election, and we're all willing to, do a joint statement? Send me an email saying, uh, Richard, we want you to verify this list of things so that when the results are announced, we won't have a problem. We want you to verify that this happened, this happened, this happened to the best of your ability.
You same with the other candidates for VP of bargaining?
Right. I mean, if all of y'all came together and did a joint statement and said, hey, you're the new president, so we expect you to do these certain things, even though the ballots have already been printed and mailed out, we would like to have all of these questions answered in a satisfactory manner that puts the pressure on you and not on the elections committee or the protest committee.
I would have no problem joining a statement like that. I'm concerned what the questions would be, that it's,
Mm.
valid things that we can actually do something, because as you pointed out, the ballots are printed, they're mailed out. People have received them today. I've seen some pictures of people opening their ballots today. They're just mailed out yesterday. Check your
Wait, wait,
mailboxes.
wait, wait. I'm sorry, not let me cut you off. You're saying someone has already received their ballots today?
Yes. Today is the 3rd of July. They were mailed on supposedly on July 2nd. That was set to be the mailing date. So in Sacramento, it's quite possible that's you received your ballots today. It may be take another day or two as we spread out through California, and there is a holiday weekend here. But yeah, people have some people have their ballots already in hand today.
I see. Well, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I want to thank you for coming on.
Oh, I thank
And
you for the
normally,
invite.
oh, I'm sorry, say again.
I want to thank you for the invite. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're very welcome. And so hopefully I'll be able to talk to the other candidates. And, I wish everyone nothing but success. And I've always said, when you have the courage to chase your convictions, you're never a loser. And if it may take you, it may take you 2 or 3 times, maybe 10 times. But the fact, okay.
I know what you're talking about here.
Okay. So I want to thank
I
Kevin.
I
And
do
I
want to
want,
say,
uh,
let me just end by saying, one, yeah, it is a vocation for you to do for labor, and also the other candidates running. These are people of quality, and yes, they did step forward, and I know several of them well, and they're all people. What's great is we are blessed with good choices, Local 1000. So I hope you make a good choice. Be happy with your choice, and I hope that choice is me. I can.
and you know what? Um, I will reach out to the other candidates. Hopefully their supporters are watching right now, and we can make this happen like really, really quickly. And I work around the clock. So I'll do a live video in the morning, midday, in the evening, at night. So the other candidates won't have any type of excuse to say, hey, Richard wasn't available. Richard's always available. So, and then maybe one day, really quickly, we could do a Zoom and have all the candidates, because like I said in the very beginning, Kevin, sometimes people don't like the word debate. So if I say just a dialogue or a regular conversation, maybe that would quote entice the other candidates to come on, where there's no quote mudslinging, and we have a civilized conversation. And I know people are saying civilized and me in the same sentence is not possible, but that's not true. I can be civilized. So, okay, I'll cut it short. Thank you so much, Kevin. And I want to tell everyone today on July 3rd, 2021, on this 4th of July weekend, I want you to have a blast. I don't want you to think about anything. Don't worry about me. I'm studying and studying and studying, but I'm having fun. And I will talk to you very soon. Have a great, great 3-day weekend. Bye-bye.
God bless America. Bye.
All right. I like that.